Hey there, it's Workbench with Workbench Quagmire, back with day 88 of our free code camp Python certification and 100-ish days. Today we're going to work on this implement the breadth first search algorithm workshop. As you can see, I've got some streaming going on right now in the bottom corner, so if you want to follow my streams, listen to some chill music while my 3D printer attempts to do things, go ahead and check out my channel. I have live streams of the printer from time to time. So let's jump right in. Alright, step one, this workshop you'll implement a function that generates all valid combinations of parentheses using a breadth first search approach. For example, the valid combination of two pairs of breadth parentheses are open, open, close, close, and open, close, open, close. Start by creating a function named gen parentheses with a single parameter pairs. For now, return an empty list from the function. So, that's funny. I can't stop typing in parentheses when I'm trying to type the word. The C's. Pair. There we go. Step two. For implementing the core algorithm, you need to validate the input. The pairs parameter should be an integer as it represents a number of parentheses pairs to generate. Add an if statement at the beginning of your function to check if pairs is not an integer. Use the isInstance function for that. If the condition is true, return the string. The number of pairs should be an integer. Step 3. Next, you need to validate that the number of pairs is at least 1, since you can't generate parentheses combinations with 0 or negative pairs. Add another if statement to check if pairs is less than 1. If this condition is true, return the string. The number of pairs must be at least 1. Step 4. Now you'll set up the data structure to store your results. Create a variable named results and initialize it as an empty list. This will store all the valid parentheses combinations you generate. Update your return statement to result instead of empty list. Step 5. For the breadth first search approach, you'll use a queue to track different states as you build the parentheses combinations. Each state will be represented as a tuple containing 3 elements: the current string being built, the number of opening parentheses used so far, the number of closing parentheses used so far. Create a variable named q and initialize it with the list containing 1 tuple. This represents the start state with an empty string and 0 parentheses used. Step 6, now you'll implement the BFS loop. Create a while loop that continues as long as Q is not empty. While Q evaluates to true, inside the loop, print Q. Right, step 7, inside your while loop, use q.pop 0 to remove and get the first element from the queue. This implements the first in, first out behavior characteristic of breadth first search. Unpack the tuple inside 3 variables. Current opens, used, closes, used. Before you keep working on the BFS logic, call gen parentheses 1 and print the result to the console. Put a little test in here. There we go. Now you need to identify when you've built a complete parentheses combination. A complete combination has a length equal to twice the number of pairs, since each pair contributes one opening and one closing parentheses. Inside your while loop, add an if statement that checks if the length of the current equals 2 times the pairs. The condition is true, append current. Append current to result list. Step 10, if the current string isn't complete yet, you need to explore the next possible state. Add an else clause to your if statement. Inside the else block, you'll handle adding opening parentheses. Add an if statement to check if opens used is greater than pairs. This ensures you don't use more opening parentheses than allowed. So we got an else with another if. And if the condition is true, append a new tuple to the queue. Step 11. Now you need to handle adding closing parentheses. The key rule is that you can only add a closing parentheses if it maintains a balance, meaning there must be more opening parentheses used than closing parentheses. Still, within the else block, add a second if statement that checks if closes used is less than opens used. And if the condition is true, append another new tuple to the queue. This represents the state after adding the closing parentheses. Step 12, your function is now complete. Test it again by printing gen 2 instead of gen 1. Actually, you just change this. Now you don't need the print queue. Remove that from the while loop. Step 14, finally call gen parentheses 3 with a 3 as argument to generate all 5 combinations of 3 parentheses and print the result to the console. There we go. We are done with our Implement the Breadth First Search algorithm workshop. So thanks for watching the video. We're almost done here. I'll probably have, this lab. We won't do this review. One theory, one lab. Won't do this review. So we've got about 5 more videos. And what I'll do is I think I'm going to create a study video for this Python review where I go through and make a flashcard deck, like an Anki deck, for all the stuff we've learned through this and begin the studying process. So I may actually create a video on how to do that, and maybe I'd recommend you do your own deck because it helps you learn, but I'll probably post a link to mine. And then study, and then when I pass the certification, I'll post another video and probably a community post letting everybody know that I have passed. And then after that, I've got some other video ideas I'd like to do. Not every day, but probably once or twice a week, including some live streams on some CAD stuff where I've got some things I'd like to whip up in Fusion 360. I'm not good at it, so it'll be you watching me learn how to figure out how to do some of this stuff. And then I got some electronics stuff I'd like to deal with as well. I got some ESP32 microcontrollers I'd like to learn how to program. So until then, Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe. See you then.